This has been so heavily requested on my channel, so I am so excited to just get into this one. So let's go. Let's go. Well, seeing as though it's buffering, we'll pause it there. Interesting. Before I continue, I just want to mention that you can now become a channel member where you can get access to members only shorts, access to videos early, super chats, video shout outs and all sorts of stuff. So if you enjoy my content and you want to support my channel and my mission, then that's a really easy way to do it. Thank you so much in advance and I really appreciate every single one of you. So that first lyric, do you feel what I feel, see what I see, hear what I hear? I guess in one sense could be questioning things like compassion and empathy and understanding. Like, are you just assuming that you get me? It's so frustrating when you reach out for help, right? I know so many people watching this will relate to this. When you reach out for help and you try to tell someone what is going on for you and they completely misinterpret what you're telling them, or they judge, or they like assume that they know, and you're just like, no, just listen. Don't listen to respond, listen to listen and understand, and just show me compassion, validate me. And sometimes people just jump into fix mode, and that's not what you want in that minute. And I'm sorry, I know that's a bit of a like digression there, but I kind of feel like that's just where it led my brain. But what I'm also hearing from this is like a bit of an existential thing again. It's like your experience is so subjective and like individual and unique to you, and my experience is completely different. How do we know? And it can make us feel so lonely thinking about stuff like this. But like, if I'm looking at the colour orange, for example, how do I know that you see the colour orange in the same way that I do? How you see orange might be different. You might see orange like green, but you just call it orange because we both... Do you know what I mean? Like, it's such a weird thing. Anyway, then we get to, there is a line you must draw between your dream world and reality. Is this getting at things like idealism, denial, being so caught up in imagination that we lose sight of what's real. We lose sight of experience and living in the moment, learning from reality, rather than just sort of just getting so consumed by learning about stuff and deep dives and the quest for other knowledge, which I guess can be helpful, but sometimes we forget to live, don't we? And we forget to embrace our reality. Sometimes our reality isn't always nice to embrace, but there's always things that we can do, things like grounding, you know, just really simple techniques that are just rooted in connecting with your reality, connecting with your environment. A lot of these lyrics are sort of feeling like it's a call out. It's like a challenge of hypocrisy and ignorance and almost getting at like how fickle humans can be, you know? It kind of feels like it's getting at how like the blind lead the blind, and some of the systems and structures that we have in society that are just excuse my French, but bullshit. What makes this person a leader and this person a follower? What makes this person an elite? Sometimes the things that we place value in society, not us, but society places value in, can be so misguided and fickle. And actually, what is true wisdom? What is true value? I'll leave that as an open question. And again, I kind of feel like it's doubling down there with that sentence, you know so much about nothing at all. It makes me reflect on like my profession. I've done the qualifications, but at the same time, I don't know what it's like to live in someone else's life. I don't know what it's like to walk in that person's shoes that's in front of me. And that's why, to me, it feels like the single most important thing that I can do is try to understand the other person's perspective as much as I can. When you have supervision as a therapist, a part of that is recognizing where sometimes your own bias can come into things and kind of blur things a little bit. And it's really, really important. And I just feel like that's what that reminded me of, because it's like, yeah, you know so much, but in the grand scheme of things, when that person's sitting in front of you, all the stuff that you know, it's redundant unless you know what that person's experience is. You can only learn so much, can't you? But lived experience, experiential truth, that's where the real stuff is, you know? Anyway, time to carry on, I think. So creepy. Wow. Where do I start? You know, when it comes to science, but more specifically like pseudoscience, it kind of feels like the more weight a theory has, the new ideas that challenge it can sometimes be stifled. It's just like highlighting how naive, I guess, humanity can be, and just like blindly following these things that other people have done and new ideas about things. Like we don't tend to question authority too much, do we? We kind of just do as we're told, and these are the rules, and that's what I do. It can stifle creativity and new ideas and innovation. This is, like I say, it's like a challenge to that, and almost like a call to us to embrace our own thought and our own experience and how valuable that is. Wow. So you preach about how I'm supposed to be, yet you don't know your own sexuality. It's just making me think, Freud? Is that talking about Freud? Hard agree. Hard agree. But yeah, I wonder if that is getting at the sort of, I'm going to give you all of these domineering theories and research all of this stuff, but ask me to introspectively look at myself and figure myself out. And I haven't done that yet. It's a bit hypocritical, isn't it, really? You know what this is kind of making me think of a little bit? My absolute favourite story in the whole world, like my dad always calls it the only book that you will ever need to read in your entire life. So bloody true. It's behind me here. It's called The Little Prince. If you don't know what it is, basically it's a story about a little prince that lives on his own little planet, and he basically, the long story short, he ends up visiting loads of different planets and encountering lots of different characters. The businessman is one of them. All he does is spend his time like counting the stars and like seeking this really insignificant knowledge. And the little prince is so, he's a child, and he still sees things through the eyes of a child, which is so beautiful. And the video, which is interesting because it's like a little boy, isn't it? A little naive boy who approaches a philosopher, I think, who is writing the word lies and then kind of rubs it out and it goes backwards, and the boy runs backwards. It's like, it kind of reminds me of the Little Prince in a lot of ways, because the Little Prince is this like naive little character who sees the world in such a simple and childlike way, but actually the message is, or one of the messages, there's so many different like moral messages in this story, but one of them is that as we get into adulthood, we can kind of forget about that and forget about what's really important in the world. And this character has this like thirst for knowledge, but in his thirst for knowledge about this one particular thing, he misses all the other little details about life. And it's so sad to me that like all of the other nuances to life and the pretty things and the, you know, the fun, the joy of life is being missed, really. Yeah, and I just feel like a lot of the time we do place a lot of value in people being intellectuals. Anyway, I don't feel like I'm being very articulate right now. It's just like, it's kind of floored me a little bit. A bit of an existential question to myself, really, like how can I lean more into that, you know? That's what I say when I feel like it's a bit of a call out for us, you know. It's a bit of like a realization, a wake up call. I'm going to leave it there. If you enjoyed that, then please give me a little thumbs up. It really, really helps me, and I really appreciate every single one. If you have any suggestions of songs that you want me to cover, leave them down below. I'm really interested to hear what you come up with. And also, if you want to support my mission and my channel, a really easy and free way to do that is by hitting the subscribe button and the bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And thank you so much for being here. I will see you in the next one. Bye.